Is that up? Rocking and rolling?
It's delayed, so you're up.
Yep.
You're going.
All right, I believe we're live. It's been a while, but I'll
All
let
right,
you do this introduction.
There we go, guys. So, hey, Jeremy here, Dirty Right Here Podcast. Jeremy Sutton, Dirty Right Here Podcast. And, hold on.
Turn your phone down.
Hold on.
All right.
Sutton, don't remember how to do this.
I didn't know my phone. I see you now. Okay.
Okay, here we go again. So, here we go, guys. We haven't been on here in a while. And this week, right here, if you notice to our left, we got Daryl Dickerson, Chris Boyd Jr., okay, and Dustin Weinick. So, if you guys kind of see what we got going here, you may kind of see what's kind of going on now and maybe what the little news is. But we're just going to kind of break it down. You know, Farmington Empire Speedway, we kind of had a heck of a year this year, man. Mostly, I mean, we had a lot of fun with it with the podcast, and I know, you know, we had quite a bit of people that kind of jumped aboard a lot of cool stuff. We did a lot of neat things for it, and you know, Daryl, he was cool with us and let us run wild with it, and they kind of got some announcements for what's going to happen next year. As everybody knows, you know, they've heard the rumors that it's, you know, Daryl was trying to kind of just get his head straight on it. It was a lot for just him, and I think now they've got a group of guys maybe, and we're going to kind of let them explain all the stuff, and you know, that way a little better than what we kind of know, because we don't know all the information. But Farmington looks like it's going to be in some kind of different hands, but kind of the same hands, but some familiar hands, and we'll let you guys go with it, man. So what's the plan? What's going on?
Well, Jeremy, I'll start off, then we can move on to talking about some more things. First off, I'd like to say Katie and I have sold the track business, Farmington Empire Speedway business side of everything to Empire Media. It's a couple of owners, and they're going to have kind of a management group, so to speak. So I'll let these guys get involved in that. But before we do all that, I'd like to thank everybody for such an incredible amount of support for the 2 years we've done it. I touched on this a couple other times when we were here. It's a lot. It's been a lot. And, you know, after the podcast in the past, other people did it, and it was a lot too. I understand that. I have two young boys and two other businesses, and I know other people do that too. I'm not special. I'm just not Superman, and I'm not as good as some of those other people maybe. But I couldn't handle all that, right? So we wanted to come in and keep it going and do a good job if we could, and we realized we needed help. And we talked about that before, and so many people did everything they could to help, and we appreciated that so much, because we always knew we were a stepping stone to try to, you know, do the right thing here. And people came on, helped us out. You guys helped us promote so much. I mean, without getting crazy emotional, you can never understand how much I appreciate everyone getting us through 2 years so we could seek out some help and try to make this better. With that being said, you're looking at the three guys in the beginning here that are kind of going to be that management group. Katie and I will still be on board in an administrative role. We're going to explain some more of that here in a sec, but just to get through my part, kind of passing the torch a little bit, we just wanted to say thank you, and we wanted to tell everyone, you know, Farmington Motorsports, which is Katie and I that have sold it, we're gonna cancel out everything left at the end of December. So we don't want to do taxes again for, you know, just a few weeks of business or something for next year for this. We no longer are ownership. So if you have any outline checks, most of them don't have, I don't think they have a like void by this date or anything on the checks that you got as a racer or whatever. If you have any of those and you haven't cashed them, put them in the bank, do so, because at the end of December, there will no longer be an account from before. All of those checks are dated on or before the last race of this year, so you have plenty of time for that. But get that all done. I know a few people have told me they've had a couple checks in their toolbox or whatever, so just wanted to let everybody know it's no longer the same business, so none of those things in the past still count. And with that being said, there'll be some new, you know, arrangements made with people and agreements made with people moving forward. because it's no longer just my decision and just Katie's decision. It's moving on from there. So, with that being said, this is Dustin Weinig, and this is Chris Boyd Jr. We all love him and call him Bub, so he might not like it, but we do it anyway.
I prefer Chris Bob Boyd. Thanks.
Too much.
Yeah.
Too much.
So, how do you guys want to go? You
So
wanna go
hang
first?
on, guys, if you don't care. I just want to say one thing for Daryl and Katie. Thank you guys for saving our track. It everybody knows what you guys walked into, and overwhelming. I think everybody's appreciative of what you guys did. So before we go on, I just wanted to say thank you for saving our hometown track and what we have going in the future. So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, guys, go ahead now.
All right, so I'm Dustin Weinig, part of the whole Empire Media Group deal. We seen what was going on. I've been out of the racing scene for about 22 years now. I haven't been involved. Wasn't really looking to get back involved, but last year my 14-year-old decided he wanted to get into a car, so it put us back in the track. I seen what Daryl was going through, and unfortunately my family fell in love with the track as much as I have always loved racing. So when Daryl was going through what him and Katie were going through, what they were going through, we had some conversations and some different things and trying to figure out how we could help and how we could do things. And this was one way that we could make what Daryl and Katie have built alive, bring it, just continue on what they're doing, because they've done a phenomenal job. I don't think anybody could bat an eye at what he did. He can't be, I mean, they can be way proud of how they handled everything that was thrown at him over the past 2 years. And so with our group here, Chris and Daryl and everybody else that's going to be involved in this, we're just looking to take what they did and really build on it and have more of a team of people rather than one guy trying to handle everything that goes on at that track. I've been out there for the past 3 days just walking and talking, looking around. There's a lot. I mean, there's things that I found today. I've already walked that track 10 times, and I walked it again today, and there's 10 more. So there's just a lot of things that go into it that I don't see and nobody else really sees until you're in the positions that Daryl has been in. So
2 years in, Dustin, and I still find stuff I've never seen before there.
yeah, it's a trip when you go out there and there's no race cars, there's no trailers, there's nobody there. It's just you and the track, and you're walking around it going, man, this is insane. But moving forward, it's just we're going to take, like I said, what Daryl and Katie did, and hopefully work with the Dirty Right Rear quite a bit and get this thing going and there are substantial changes coming, that good or bad, they're coming, and I, in my mind and in my heart, I think they're the right decisions. And I think between the conversations that Daryl and Chris have had and myself, I'm really looking forward to the next few years at Farmington.
You know what we talked about in the past, and Dustin and I have talked about this, with the other partnership a whole bunch, and it's very similar stuff to what we talked about here. When it was just me in the past, it would sit here with you guys, and it's needed. Like what we did one podcast that I said, hey, come on, be invested mentally, be invested monetarily. Just come in and make decisions. That's not because you like to watch a race car go around in circles, because you want to see the place. And I hadn't had very many people that, you get the few people that contact you, man, how much does this picture look like? We want to buy in, and then they don't show up for an appointment to meet you, or they're not serious. I promise you, these guys are serious. I'm proud to be involved in this still, in whatever aspect, because I can see the passion that I have in these other guys. And, I've always talked to him about it before we ever had anything really working out. And just, you need passion to keep something like this going, and they have it. And I'm proud to be in a group with you fellas. I don't know if I said that yet, but.
Well, thank you. It's like this wasn't an overnight decision. This started probably back in June, not too long after the podcast where Daryl got pretty got emotional about it, and I understand why. He had his whole life invested in this. His family, his business, everything's invested. So I understood that, and I get it, because I myself have businesses, and my wife has a business. So when your business is on the line for what some people call a hobby, there's a lot of emotion involved in it. And for him to hold it together for the rest of the season and stick with the plan that we laid out after we talked the first time took a lot of courage and a lot of trust. And I'm hoping to be able to build that trust with bringing Bub in and having Daryl and Katie on board and whoever else we can get that wants to come in and have a good time. It's going to be fun.
I know. I guess we really found out about this, Queens Royal, wasn't it? And I approached Bub. I had heard some stories and rumors, and you know how that goes. And I was like, that can't be true. And I was ecstatic when I found out Bub was involved. He's as passionate as anybody I know when it comes to racing. And I think that's a number one. You know, I don't know you, but I've said all along, like, bringing Bub on is brilliant. You know, he's going to bring passion and fire, and you need that.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that. And I'd really like to add just how excited I am to be a part of this team. I'm pretty sure my first night at Farmington Empire Speedway, I was 2 weeks old, and it was 2 weeks, not 1 week, because I think they got rained out when I was 1 week old. I've been, sitting in turn 4 there, right across the steps from Gary Montgomery's dad.
Yep.
Sat on that man's lap many a times, watching many a races. I've watched many a sprint car. Huge fans of many a drivers, including the Montgomerys, the Worleys, Sean King, drivers like that, growing up and just sitting here talking about it, I'm getting chills, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just extremely excited. I spent some time working at Farmington before and learned a lot there, and had the opportunity one year to go up and work at Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55 for Ray and Sue Marlar and Mike McGinnity. And I learned so much from all of them. Everything, a lot of what I know now, and I can thank them for. And Josh Carroll, I spent the last year with Josh, and I enjoyed working with him, and I'm gonna miss working with those guys, but I'm happy to say, next season, I'm getting kind of emotional. I get to walk into the gates of my home track,
Right.
And look at the chills on my arm. It's crazy. I get to walk in the gates of my home track where my dad raced for many years, and I watched him in the stands, and I watched him in the pits, and I got to turn laps there myself, and I had a grand old time, and I loved it. And I love that place. And I'm looking forward to us getting back there and, putting on, amazing racing, helping put on amazing racing with some amazing race car drivers. And I'm excited that they picked, they asked me and they thought of me, and I was one that they considered. And I'm glad this is working out the way it is, because I'm telling you, I'm like you said, I'm full of energy. I'm ready to go. It makes me, I'm ready for March and April to get here. You know what I mean?
I can feel the passion in myself.
Right.
Looking this way and hearing him talk, I can't help but think, man, he used to talk to me on the receiver all the time.
Yeah.
He explained things pretty well, and I remember him explaining things extremely well to the ones that didn't listen. And we sure need that,
Right.
we've done that some, and I make jokes about it because, those are challenging things sometimes. But I mean, for those that probably there's only maybe 5 people out there that don't already know you, but
Right.
Right.
Someone didn't realize I was the same person.
That.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, he's done things like that. Talked to us on the receiver over the years some, and
I've had many jobs. I make the joke, the only job I've never done at a racetrack is I've never drove a water truck. And believe me, I don't want to. I've never drove a water truck.
we're gonna get him in there when it's really slimy one day and see how quick he hits
See
the
how it goes.
concrete.
I've drove a tractor, but it wasn't for very long. But
I guess you can summarize it by you're coming home.
I'm coming home. Yep. You saying, I mean, man, I cannot tell you how excited I am. I'm coming home. I can tell you another person, my family, they are ecstatic, because even though me moving up and going and working up at Federated, my parents and my sister and my nephew and my brother-in-law, my cousin, they never left. They stayed at Farmington, and it was really just like a distance, like, hey, what happened down there? Hey, what happened up there? But now, guess what? I'm sure they're excited, and I know I'm excited that my family is going to be in the same facility on a Saturday night.
Yeah, well, your family's in the comments. They're excited.
I know. I'm reading them. Not to be biased. Thanks, Mom.
Before I talked to you the first time, Bub, I mentioned it to your dad, I think. I talked to your dad just randomly, he's out and about and not at the track. So sometimes I just call him because he was somebody not racing here very much that I could get another opinion from. And I was like, hey, man, if I can figure out some way to make this happen, what do you think he would say? He's like, he smiled. I could tell in the reaction and the look on his face, like, that would be great, without saying that would be great. And he said, call him.
Yep.
And he kind of, I don't know, winked at me or smiled real big again. And I think everybody's happy about it, So.
Well, I will say that, he has been trying for years to get me to come back. You know, he never wanted us to be racing at different places. He even come up to Peevely and raced a time or two. But you know, this Farmington Empire is his place. That's his home. That's where he's won many championships. Been a very successful race car driver. And that's where, you know, that's his place.
You want to tell the story real quick about black flagging your own dad?
That actually happened at Doe Run, actually, believe it or not. I was driving a Mod Light, and he was trying to get it dialed in from my cousin Sam, and it just wasn't working. And I'm like, get off the track. Like, yo, get off out there.
I think I remember that.
Yeah.
Hey, why we? I know Bub's dying to tell this
boy.
story. So, Bub, tell us about the dirtiest right rear someone ever fed you.
Yeah.
All right.
And Sutton wants to know what your favorite food is.
Yeah.
What my favorite? Okay, we'll get to that later. Let's talk about the right rear.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do right rear
Let's
first.
talk about the right rear. Now, I will say my tenure in racing as a driver wasn't very long. But I will say I won a championship my rookie year racing in a Pro 4. So I give you down in
Pro 4?
Fredericktown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But then I jumped in a street stock in Farmington. I was racing. I have a picture of it somewhere. I tried finding it for this, but I couldn't. And I was running well one night. I think it was like my third or fourth night in the car. I was running well. I'm like, man, I'm getting this. Next thing you know, bam! I'm whiplash. I look over and guess who's passing me?
Your sister.
My father.
Chris Boyd Sr.?
Chris Boyd Sr. couldn't
Holy
pass
cow.
me clean. He had to feed me a right rear to get by.
Man, I
That's the
don't have my
dirtiest right
phone
rear
on to
I've
see
ever
these
received.
comments. You got to tell me how this is going.
Come on now, Dad. Let's see it. Let's see it.
Come on, Chris, get in here.
He was in there a while ago.
Oh, my mom just said, ask him who threw the worst. Yeah. Everybody knows this is my dad. I can't remember, how that went out in the pits. I just know I was like, what the heck, man? I was running good, but I just followed him from then on out. But, I mean,
I don't remember that, but I do remember the time that you flipped at Farmington.
oh yeah, that was a great time too. Listen, my street stock. I mean, I wasn't the greatest driver. I'll admit it. But you got to learn somewhere. It was my second, I think my second year in the car. Yeah. And I could never figure out how to stay competitive with drivers like my dad, Robbie Williams, Jimmy Ferris, drivers
Put
like
him in
that.
the fence.
Well, I put myself in the fence trying. So I remember I was in the heat race one night. It was the Randy Matthews Memorial. My dad
thought it was the Randy night.
My dad and I made sure that we were always there for that because Randy had played such a huge role in our racing team and in our family. He was such a great family friend. I remember I was racing 2 laps. I ran side by side with Robbie Williams, and I'm telling you right now, coolest 2 laps of my life. Great guy. If you have never met the guy, Robbie Williams, outstanding human being. But I remember I was on the outside, he was on the inside, and I'm sitting there going, man, I've got it. I'm beating him. And I'm somehow pulling it off. Well, I don't know what I was thinking. I thought maybe I'm driving a little harder. I can clear him. Drove it a little hard, turns 1 and 2, and I guess I didn't get back on the gas hard enough. Rear end hits the wall, front end comes around, hits the wall, and I'm just climbing it over, and I landed on all 4s. And I'm pretty sure my mom was like, blah, crying. Yeah.
Yeah, she was.
But
I remember that.
It was a fun. I had fun. I had fun. It was fun.
Yeah.
I'll do it again.
I remember you got out. You was excited.
Yeah. Well, I told. I can't remember who the firefighter was that got to me. I want to say it was Matt Denoyer, but I could be wrong. And he looked, he goes, Bub, you all right? Bub, you all right? I said, dude, am I good to go? Like, let's go. I'm going to go racing. Like, I'm still thriving on that, energy from racing Robbie Williams, And my mom's like, no, you're done. Get out. I raced the feature that night, too.
Did you?
I was in the heat race, and I raced the feature, so.
All right, we'll get back to the racetrack stuff. I knew that you've been dying to say that. And,
Oh yeah,
your
Man,
family's
I love
blowing
this part of it though. All these stories that that I'm excited. Listening to those stories, it's cool. I'm sure I was in the grandstand or something watching half that, and at the time might have been too drunk to remember it now.
I don't know why, but I was on the infield that night. I remember going to Bub's car and. Never, seeing this guy, like Tracy said.
You were there?
I was there, yeah.
Shit.
It took a while to get out, but
Well, because I didn't want to get out.
he
I
was
wanted to
jumping up
race.
and down. He was like, yeah. He was all excited.
Oh, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, your dad said he watched your rolls. He came off turn 4.
Yeah, he was passing for the lead, and of course he got the lead and didn't complete the lap, so it reverted back. And it was, I want to say, Dom Wadlow that he passed. How I remember all this was years ago.
Yeah.
It was Dom Wadlow that he passed, and another great driver. It was, would have been awesome to be able to race against and keep up with, but he was way ahead of me. Dom knew how to protect. And after they put it back, Dom was like, "You're not getting back by." So it cost my dad the heat race win. Sorry, Dad.
Yeah, he already said that in the comments as well.
We talked about it.
So,
All right, guys. So we want to go ahead and we'll get back to the Farmington
He can hear
Empire
you.
for next year.
So I was looking at the comments and somebody said I was thinking about this when Bub was talking. So when Daryl brought up Bub back whenever he made
Maybe June.
Yeah, back in June, I'm thinking Bub. So the last time I'd seen him, Chris Boyd was still building mini stocks when we were racing mini stocks at Doe Run when Bobby Johnson had it. It's been that long ago since I'd seen him. And Daryl mentioned it, and yeah, okay, I don't know. I know him, but I don't know him. And I ran into Bub at Ironman 55, and his sister, we all camped in the same spots there. And he come walking by, and she said, "Hey, Bub." And I was like, "What?" And I look up, and Bub went from this little guy, and I'm looking up at him now. I'm like, that can't be the same Bub that Daryl's talking about. There ain't no way.
Man,
And-
all the stuff that we're talking about here unrelated to the track Dow. So people don't know this, but I got into racing because he had a mini stock, and I went out and I got addicted to it. I mean, I always watched racing. I was in the stands a lot growing up, and I got into racing. He had a mini stock. I went out to help him. He started off with a Pinto, went to a Fox Body Mustang, and when he was like, "I'm done, man. It's nickel and dime shit. I can't do it anymore," and he got out, I bought his car. And I raced mini stocks. And when you were talking about flipping, I flipped that sumbitch 3 times the first year. I couldn't figure it out whatsoever, and I was terrible and had no money and all of that to put into it. So I ended up getting out for like 10 years. And then I started racing mods again. So that all those stories that people are like, it's just stories. To us, it inspired everything that we're doing now, keeping a race business open, I mean, and that's how, we're all kind of connected like that. And I like telling those stories of how we all know each other and stuff like that, because that's all a stepping stone into what makes it today,
Sure, sure is. There's a lot of on track history behind all three of us in different times in our life and different times of the years. But I really think rolling a mini stock is a rite of passage. I mean, if you haven't rolled a mini stock, are you even living? I think we've all done it. I rolled with my Pinto at Doe Run. The cage broke. Bobby Johnson come out, grabbed the cage part that was broke, threw it in the infield, and gave me a safety lap to go out and race in the feature. I mean,
So I think my third, it might have been my second time or second or third time anyway, of after flipping the mini stock, Bobby Johnson had to come over and say, "What's up, Flipper?" So that was my nickname for a little while. I was Flipper. It was, great times,
Well, I guess we've got some stuff on here that people are already commenting on different things. So let's get into some juicy track stuff. Like, you did talk about kind of revamping or redoing some new ideas. So like, what's on the agenda for kind of what's going on? Is there anything big you're getting ready to do, or?
I'm going to let you talk about, and then we'll introduce him what he's going to do. Does that sound good?
Sure. So one of the things that I've hated the most about Farmington for years and years, don't get me wrong, I love Farmington, but the one thing on the track that always drove me nuts was turn 2. The wall, the whole situation in that coming out of 2 is just terrible. So right out of the gate, we're taking turn 2, taking the wall out, pushing it back out, making that a sweeping corner rather than the 3 turns, the S curve you got to get through it. So we're gonna
where it sucks you up.
it sucks you up into the wall.
Right there at that spot. Last year, Kevin and Keith Buckley headed up the track prep last year, and they called some other guys that, tracks around here, and they asked for some measurements on width. And the only place that they couldn't get the track to that width, and I don't remember the exact number, so I'm not going to lie to anybody, was right there. And it was, I would say, 10 feet different right there than everywhere else on the track. So that's why when we talked about that, that's one of the biggest complaints, I think.
Yeah,
So.
it's always been, it's kind of everybody's nemesis. Turn 2, 1 and 2 is just, it's so different from 3 and 4. So in order to straighten that out, we're going to take that wall out where it kicks in, straighten that back out, line it up with the radius that turn 2 already has, 1 and 2 has, and run that straight. We're taking the guardrail down off of 1 and 2, going up higher with concrete, putting the fence back up on top of it to try to keep people from getting up into the fencing. With doing that, it's going to make cars faster. You're coming out of the corner faster, so the back straightaway's got to have some work on some fencing done to make sure the people sitting in that side are safe, you know, when they come out, same as on the front, you know. Looking at doing some barriers in the center to keep some of the mess that I've seen last year and years ago where cars are flying in the infield at 80 mile an hour, and you know, try to make something to limit that. Whether it be I haven't decided. We have not decided whether it's going to be a wall of some sort of what we're doing there, but more like set it up like Peevely, where you don't have free access to run through the infield. And we got flag guys, we got photographers, we've got push buggies, we got all that out there. That's the most important thing to me, is making sure that the people that are there working for Empire Speedway are safe in the infield.
For all the people that don't think about it, you know, between myself and talking with the insurance in the past, we did those small block walls in the infield on both ends. You know, everybody's going to hate, maybe not love, but anytime there's concrete, nobody likes it. Race cars break on it. But we talked about that with insurance, and we made, and I went over this all with Dustin, but I think a couple of years of experience of people want to know the whys. That was a safety thing. Mm-hmm. We've all watched. I mean, insurance will call me, hey, I saw the video or the picture of somebody standing in a bad spot, fix it, you know, or I noticed it, and we've all seen somebody in an unsafe situation. So we made that decision. It was unpopular because, like I said, it's a hard surface that people could run into. But then, and I would never want to have to make a decision like that because something bad happened and no one understood. And then something really bad happened at another track. Yep. Same in the infield, a similar situation. Mm-hmm. And I've talked to people involved. I talked to people that were there. And those people that saw something bad happen said, now we understand. And I'm like, yep. I'm glad. I thank the Lord we made a decision like that before someone was hurt, bad, or killed.
Right.
And I think that the reasons people out there want to know, I'm sure there'll be some kind of comment about it. Why do you do that? You know, most expensive race car I've ever seen is still way less valuable than someone's life. Mm-hmm. So those things are very important for the health of a racetrack to keep going, the health of people that are there. The whole community is going to be better off if you make that safer. And I'm excited with this whole deal because they see that. They want to fix that. I mean, you know, I appreciate it.
Well, and the conversations that you and I have had, and I've had out there before people really knew what was going on. I'd go through the pits, talk to people, ask questions. Hey, what do you think? You know, nobody had a clue at that point in the season what was going on, and you got real feedback. I got real feedback from the drivers because they were just friends. We were just guys talking in the pits beside a trailer. I think it's going to take a minute for people to adjust. You know, you do it at Peevely. Yeah. Everybody loves racing Peevely. It's got concrete all the way around it, inside, outside. Mm-hmm. It's a safety thing, man. It's what it is. Same with turn 3. You know, I was out there today looking and doing some measuring off. The turn 1 entrance or exit is 23 foot wide. So I walked over to turn 3. That is 104 foot wide. Yep. The cars use, you can see where the cars go over it every weekend. They use about 26 feet of it. So closing off that other 80 feet, well, like last year we had sprint cars go out of there in hot. They come out of there hot. There's so many people.
You know the story about, you know.
There's so many cars that go out of there so fast. There's only one way to limit that, and the people that are walking across that entrance, instead of having to walk the 100 feet across, they're only going to be that limited to that 30-foot opening.
I think it's a good idea.
You know, it's all about safety. At that point in that corner, it's not so much the safety of the driver, it's the safety of the people in the pits whenever the car leaves the track wide open because they're upset or throttle sticks or they're just getting off the track in a sprint car and they're hard to control. You can't see anything right there.
You can't shut that down right away, right? And this year, and he was right there for one of the instances. A car in qualifying came out that, and he had just told somebody, he was helping us out one night or something, and he had just told a couple, hey,
this is
you're
not
gonna
a
have
safe
to move
place
from
to
here.
stand.
And then one lap later, a car was right where they were standing, and he was like, "Thank goodness I was there to tell him." And then one night, a car comes out and can't get shut down, and slides into another couple.
That was the same night.
Was it the
Yeah,
same
yeah,
night?
it was the same night.
Yep.
And I mean, I hear at the other end of the track, a car just didn't get shut down and drove into pits.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh my God, why did I ever do anything with this track? Because, and it's not because what you think. It's because if I wasn't here and it wasn't open or something, somebody might not have just got killed. You think the worst things, and thankfully everyone was okay.
But it very well could have been.
Yeah, I
not.
mean, the safety stuff is so important, and you'll see it as you go. Like everybody's got a problem with everything you do, it seems like, but they're made from a good place. Those decisions,
Right. It's not just like a random decision made. Like it's thought through.
We didn't say, hey,
planned
we're
out.
going out here to try to screw some race car drivers over. But they'll tell me that. I mean, all year they say things like that. I'm like, do you think I spent money on concrete to make somebody angry? No, I'm trying to save people's lives,
So in turn 2, I guess that'll be completely closed off and nothing will be there.
Turn
Won't be
2, there will not be an opening in turn 2 any longer. So where they used to enter the track,
Yeah.
will be gone. That'll be a concrete wall. The tires that are packed up that stay full of water and build moisture right there, that's all going away. So if you're coming out of 2, there's a light pole and it's got the green and red and yellow light on it. From that point, that's where the radius will come back in off of 2.
Will you have to move the concession stand or
Doing
the?
it that way. The way I originally wanted to do it, and I talked to Daryl. We looked at it numerous times because I wanted to go down the back straightaway. But no matter how far you went down that straightaway, the way that track is shaped, it's so sweeping right there. You would either had to pull the outside wall in and be half the size, or move everything out, and then you got to move the pit bleachers. You got to move everything back.
Yeah.
So this was the easiest way to get that solved. It's not going to ever look like an
It's
oval.
not an oval.
It's not an oval.
It's a D.
Right.
It's a D
So-
shape. It
Right.
always has to be.
We're just connecting halfway through the D and making that to where that is not, because that wall steps in quite a bit, especially if you ever go out there and look at it looking from 3 back down.
It looks like a D that you sneezed right at the last.
yeah, you lost, your hand shook a little bit because So that's why. So that hole that's there is gone.
Okay.
So, well, not yet, but it is going.
It
to.
will
That's
be.
what we're moving forward. So we're working with the wall and the safer barriers and all that stuff. We're working that angle. Another thing that we're doing starts Monday. We're putting 10 inches of new dirt on the whole track, digging it up, putting new dirt down
Awesome.
all the way around. The dirt that there is there. I asked Daryl about back in June. It was one of my pet peeves, is the hole that's in 3 every week.
Yep.
And I was informed that, hey, that's because there's no dirt left. And I talked to Jeff that was doing the dirt work, and he said, I can't do anything with it. There's no more I can do because we don't have enough dirt. So
For all of you people that are going to tell us how to lay that dirt in, we may or may not get that perfect. Lots of tracks went both ways, but we do understand you can't lay 10 inches of dirt down and drive on it once.
Right.
From what I understand, it's a couple inches at a time and pack it.
Yep.
And we've called all the right people. Whether the execution is perfect, because none of us are, I'm sure I'll get 25 people next week at the race shop telling me, now you do need to know how to do dirt, and you need to get the 6 foot, and you need to this. But obviously, we don't just say, drop it over there.
Yeah.
We're putting the effort in. We've
Yeah, and-
called people. Dustin's been on the phone. He spent a whole day today measuring and getting things just right to make a plan, So,
in dirt and the hauling, nothing's free. I mean, it's a very expensive undertaking to put dirt on that track. And so to spend the kind of money that's being spent to put the dirt down, we did the research, we did the homework, and everybody's got a different way of doing things. But the company that we decided to go with and the people we made contact with, we all agree that it's going to be done in lifts and it's going to take a while. So we'll start on Monday, and hopefully by middle of July next year, you guys will be able to race on it.
Yeah. That's awesome. I remember the last time dirt was put on Farmington, and that was back when Blair had it. Well, I can't say. I'm sure there's been dirt put on.
they held dirt
But-
during Danny and Brenda's time there because I talked to the fair board, and I was in a couple of different runs. It was 20 or 30 loads a couple of times.
Yeah.
And I remember talking to the owners then, and it was kind of rocky. So it made
Yeah.
the rock problem at Farmington worse than it was. And
Yep.
everybody knows Mark Stanfield. He used to work back there in the day before he went and helped Ray Marler I mean, obviously they're family, and he went with them. But back in the day, whenever he was at Farmington, he told me a lot of stories, and he said, "I think that damn place grows rocks." He said, "It doesn't help any if you bring rocky dirt in," and they didn't have any control over it. It was purchased and told it was clean, but things happen, and I think this is no rock.
Yeah, the dirt that we're getting, the people have looked at. They've went through it. They've combed it. They've done what they're supposed to do. Part of one of the places it's coming from, when the Montgomerys had it, had dirt put on it. It's coming from the same spot. It's 250 loads of dirt. So to say we're not going to get a rock somewhere,
Right.
oh, we're going to get a rock. But
Right.
if we do it in lifts like we're doing it, we'll have time to be able to get them rocks out, as they work. So, like I said, at 250 loads, there's going to be a few. But I think with the right equipment, the right time, and the people that want to be involved, then we'll have some time getting them out of there.
Is it going to be another red clay?
The red clay.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
We looked at different kinds of dirt, and I asked different people that race different places, and all different. You always get all the opinions, but it at the end of the day, the red clay it's pretty local.
Yeah.
We've all got it, so you just got to find the guy that's got it that doesn't have a pile of rock in the middle of it.
Right.
Only have to dig down like 1 inch to see
You
red
take
clay
the top
around here.
full off, and you know what you got.
I'm excited for that.
I'm really excited about the dirt. I'm really excited for the faster cars to be able to build a berm again up on the top.
Yep.
I was out there today, and I had a guy mention that's been out there a bunch, and he said, "Hey, when you guys get ready to do the dirt, do you think you can take the swell, the dip out of 1 and 2 or 3 and 4?" And I never really paid attention to it until today. I was looking at it, and there's an actual belly in it because there's just nothing to work with.
Right.
So I'm really excited to have that where it's a good, clean, smooth surface that'll build a berm again.
Part of the problem had been, for some reason, I don't know, too much rubber in the dirt, the wrong dirt whenever I don't know what the reason is. I've never sent a soil sample in, but cars could only run in a certain part. Whenever it would throw dirt up, it would not collect together and make, and I get this all the time. Can you make a cushion at Farmington again? Jeff was successful at it a couple of times. The Buckleys were successful a couple of times last year, but we just couldn't get a consistent cushion. Well, if you can't get anything to lean on, everybody drives in that middle groove. So the dirt's getting thrown out right in the middle. So with having dirt that'll work, I think once you get it back, I mean, then we started, and I remember being out there saying, I want to, like if you took a string line from here to the dirt at that wall and make it not even be able to put a pencil between the dirt and that string line, like I would if I was building something. And we did it, and then a week in, it's progressively banked again because of that swell. And I only thing I can think of would be the dirt causing that, not being good quality or having too much rubber in it from all the nights. And we've talked about it, and I mean, I think everybody agrees, right? I think that's probably going to fix that by just being able to shape it again.
Yeah, being able to shape it, and I mean, like you were saying, the amount of rubber and oil and everything else that's in that dirt right now. When you go out there and grab it, it doesn't make a ball anymore. I remember back years ago when I raced there, when you come in from hot laps or anything else, it would just clump to your car. Your car weighed 500 pounds more than it did when you went out. And I watched my boy this year come in from hot laps and heat races and stuff. There wasn't hardly anything on it. It just didn't stick. I mean, there was some spots too where it stayed muddy would stick, but the rest of it just wasn't that bad. So I think getting it, nobody likes to pack a track or nobody likes the hot laps when it's sticky and muddy, but to me, that's what made the good tracks.
Yeah.
Well, that's like I always talk about it when people complained about Doe Run. Back in the day when Bobby had it, when we went and hot lapped, it was worthless. Worthless. Like you would go out there and you just were going out there to pretty much get your car warm. It was so muddy. It threw it all over everywhere. I mean, you were just coated in it, and your hot laps didn't mean nothing. But then right after hot laps, the track just would flip a switch and you'd go racing.
Yep.
But I would rather it be like that and not really have a good hot lap session than, go out there and you got, a bunch of crap just like, burning off and all that dust and all that stupid shit.
Yep. And I remember back when Bobby had it, you were talking about that. I remember if you didn't kick your car off before that and you put it on the trailer for some reason, all the way down to then it was W Highway. It was a mud trail all the way almost to Chalk Hill.
Yeah, the whole road was orange.
Yeah.
3 miles both directions
Yeah.
after a Friday night.
Yeah.
I don't know. Mine's
I guess it's still good.
that's still going on mine.
Oh, okay.
We're still here.
I'm still getting comments, so we're good.
So Dustin, are there any other large things that's happening before. I know. Please don't come in to people that are newly involved and expect these things. If there's a snafu, maybe not everything's completed exactly the way we talk about, and they should know that. But are there other things that we're shooting for around the facility before race season starts?
So we are, we will have this year have the lap counter, leaderboard, timing board back in 1 and 2. Hopefully have that ordered here in the next week. Hope by middle of next week, have that ordered and getting it ready. Then on the back, instead of going, one of the complaints is the whiteboards for the lineups and all that. So we are putting on the back of what used to be the part shed, there'll be a LED sign. Everybody can go there. It's done with a computer. It's simple. It takes walking all that junk away. It's trying to simplify it down.
So is that, I forgot to ask you this. Will that be something that you can populate from your phone or populate from the office when you do lineups and they can just see that? Or will that be, like, are we going to try to hook that to My Race Pass or something?
It depends on what kind of computers or what kind of TVs we end up getting. You can definitely transfer them from a computer, but if you buy the right one, you can do it all through My Race Pass. If you wanted, you could pull them all up on My Race Pass.
It's like the digital board out front I can do from my office across town. It's all cloud based, I guess, but that'd be nice because you guys have probably seen any random one of us, our runners or myself or my kids or whomever's filling the spot. You're out there trying to hold sheets of paper and tape them to this board, and it looks gross because there's tape all over the board and nobody can ever really read it because it blows and folds over. That's pretty cool too, because believe it or not, we still live in small town America, and people don't all use Race Pass to find out their lineup. I'll have 10 people at one of those boards.
Yeah, I don't think it's working.
Yeah, I just sent Chad a text. I'll call him. Since it's not working.
Are we on pause?
Yeah.
It's just a backyard.
Yeah, he don't care.
Sorry, guys. Water.
I went ahead and commented. Oh, I got chills.
Hey, I think we're having some problems.
I think he should tell him what your
All right.
position's going to be.
You
and
wanna-
can have the
can you
floor
come
for the
out?
rest of
Yeah,
the
that's fine.
time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, that's fine.
I don't know what goes on
Okay.
throughout the race, and
Do the
maybe
transition
sometimes
again.
their expectation is off.
Okay.
Oh,
said
really?
they don't know, but they would.
Are we
think
back?
about it.
Well, that one dude called me a couple times. Oh, are we back?
Guess who's back?
Can everybody,
Sing it, bub.
can everybody hear us now, or I fixed what Sutton messed up?
Sutton is not going to be working the track because when he touches stuff, it breaks. So
Sutton ain't gonna be there. You guys know better than that. He's gonna tell us how to do it from the bleachers.
All right, looks like we're
We're back.
looks like we're good. Dylan Drymeyer says, "There we go."
All right, so
All right.
we were finishing up on the lap count or the board on the back for lineups and all that stuff. So we got that kind of out of the way. Sound system, ready for a new sound system. Ready to have that completely revamped. So we started looking into that. We will have one. I just don't know what brand we're going with yet. That's kind of up in the air for us to decide whenever we narrow it down from 300 to 3. So it takes a little bit. You know, I don't know. There's a plan. There's more of a 5-year plan on some things we want to get done that really need done. But I'm hoping to be able to make this thing go a lot faster. Daryl and I were out there the other day walking and talking, looking at some things, and lighting is one of the big things. I'm going to start right now looking for lighting. Change everything out to LED, and if we can get a good deal on something, we'll change it to try to help what's out there. So,
I talked to Kevin Bell from Cape Electric a couple of times about LED lighting, and he's got some stuff to bring out and show us, fold out things, and they are huge supporters. I mean, Cape Electric and Kevin, they support the track every year, and they're there, and he will pop by and ask me how things are going. He wants to see it do well. So I think, looking at that was just, hey, I'm not going to waste your time, Kevin, when I don't have the funds to make this happen. But we've talked about those things, and we've talked, I mean, at least once a week, somebody messaged me about the sound system. And for all of you that are watching, I hear you. I've heard you. And that's why we talk about this stuff now. But thankfully, we have some help and some financial help and stuff. So maybe these things can start happening, and everything you guys have been hoping for
yep.
will be there.
And anything that we do or I say about the track and where it's at, again, Daryl has done phenomenal. And after only being involved in this for a few weeks, I understand it. And anybody that deals with it would understand it. So everything that Daryl's wanted to do and the track has needed, all that, it's nothing new to what I thought up. It's what he wanted to do and what the track's needed that we're trying to push for to make it that much better. So he's done
These
awesome.
guys have had so many good ideas. Like some of the things that I'm like, man, we've talked about this, right? I don't know what to do here, but I see this problem, and man, we brainstorm. Well, we talked for 4 hours or something yesterday.
That was a long one.
They were yawning and tired, and I'm still amped up because that's what I am. But no, I don't do any drugs to get that way. It's natural.
Natural.
That we
But
know.
I actually take a couple drugs to try to chill it out some. And
But hey, we are celebrating today, right?
Yeah, we're celebrating today.
There you go.
but yeah, I mean, the ideas that they've had and the things to fix. I mean, I don't know, like, and I don't really care about credit or anything like that. I just have, how do I put it? I wanted to pass it on or to bring in some help to make it what I remember it as a kid. And maybe it's because it was through kid eyes and it wasn't perfect. But man, I love that place, And I was frustrated. And I think a lot of people out there have heard me, be negative or something. Because I want it as bad as all of the people that are telling me they want it. And I'm like, I don't know how to do that. Well, now I'm kind of getting... I told Dustin, I was like, man, I want to step back a little and watch this because this is my passion. This is what I've always wanted. So maybe I'm not going to be so hands-on. And he said, no, that's great. So I wanted to pull back from that, help let them know all of the things that you all out there have said to me. I can pass on to somebody who's the next step, a step above anything or multiple steps above anything I could ever get done. And I'm so excited for it. I probably said that. I sound like a broken record now, but I'm excited for it because all those things, when you guys all have a problem and you don't like something, neither do I,
Right.
I'm like, hey, everybody complains about this, and I see why. Now, if it's a dumb complaint, like, hey, move this sign because I want you to block the guy in front of me's view instead of my view. I'm not going to do anything about that. But I've told them all the things that people have said to me, you know, and I don't know. Like I said, I'm extremely excited about that, and you know, bring on next year.
So what, like all that stuff? So what are you guys going to keep? Same classes, same stuff like that? What are you going to get into?
And that,
Do you want to introduce the situation?
So, yeah. So, going back to before, as we talked about the when Daryl brought up Bub, and you know, we were talking about that, trying to figure out, you know, after I figured out who Bub was, and he was telling me his experience. Bub had this experience, and he really, really recommended him. And after talking to a lot of other people about Bub, or Chris, Bub, however you want to be called. Sorry, it's going to be Bub.
I love Bub.
That's what it is. So that's what you're at. That's it now. After talking to a lot of people about it and trying to, you know, figure out if that's really the direction we wanted to go, and then, like I said, this process didn't start yesterday. This has been going since June, so it's been building and trying to figure out, putting pieces together in my mind. And when Daryl and I, we finally sat down here a couple weeks ago and really, really got to talking, we just thought, what do we need? What does the track need? How does this really look in the grand scheme of things, in the big picture? And it's really dividing and conquering, you know, putting somebody in position to handle this, somebody in position to handle that, and not one person carrying the load. Well, Bub come up and he's going to be our race director, competition director. He's got his responsibilities, then we'll let him handle that, tell you what he's going to handle and how he's going to handle it, and move from there. So there you go, buddy.
All right.
So Chris Boyd Jr. will be the new race director.
That is correct.
Competition director, man. Let's
Competition
get nice and classy up in here.
Okay.
Yeah. So first of all, I'd like to start off by saying, like, I appreciate them putting their trust in me for this position, because this is a tough job. You know, this is a job I've always kind of wanted to be a part of, and for the last several years, I've had the privilege of studying and learning from some of the greatest that would, you know, work at, you know, Peevely, or come in and put on a series at Peevely, and, you know, had the privilege of working with them, you know, and I've learned a lot from them, and I plan on taking that knowledge and applying it somewhere. So a couple things I'm going to talk about. You know, you asked about the classes. All that stuff kind of falls under me. So I'd like to say that we're going to have 4 main classes, 4 weekly classes. And when I say weekly, when we're having a regular weekly night of racing, these are the 4 classes that will be there.
You got to bump up those numbers, man. We need like 8.
Hey, now hold on. Yeah, okay.
Step it up. Get to the small track South Farm. Let's get 8, baby.
8 or 9?
9. Actually, I was one off.
So 4 classes that when we have a weekly race, they will be there. First one, obviously, the 410 sprint cars. They're not going anywhere. You know what I'm saying? After that, you have the A modifieds, and then the B modifieds, and then we've all agreed we're going to go with the factory stocks. So those are your 4. When we run a weekly show, those are your 4 classes that will be running. Now, does that mean that's the only 4 classes we're going to try to run? Absolutely not. We still want to make some plans with the late models, have some kind of late model type event. We've even talked about micros, doing some micros. And we even talked about possibly a 305 sprint car class a night or 2, you know. And of course, you know, that's not all. You know, we're going to probably have some conversations with the Gateway Vintage Cars and some other series like that. And we're going to try to add them periodically. You know, we're not going to have classes added every weekend, but we're going to try to have some classes to kind of bring in an extra show. But I want to get back to those 4 main classes. And this is something I have always dreamed of doing and always dreamed of making like a big deal. And that is all 4 of those classes are going to run for something worth running for. The championship system that I'm going to put in, like I have plans to put in place. I hope everyone sees it the same way I do and thinks that this is going to be something that they want to be a part of. I'm going to start with the sprint cars. So the 410 sprint cars, I'm going to have a points system. The champion at the end of the season is going to have a choice. They can take home a brand new chassis. I don't have a chassis builder picked out yet, but I've got one in mind. I don't want to say it, you know, in case that doesn't work out and I have to go a different route, but they will get a brand new chassis.
It's top notch.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna get them. You know, I'm not gonna go with. You know, it's gonna be a good car, or they could take home $5,000. I want them to take the car, but they have that option. So they can do one or the other. Second place, $2,000 to the second place finisher in the points. $1,500 for third, $1,000 for fourth, and $500 for fifth.
And this is set. This is I
Yep,
mean,
we talked about it last
okay,
night.
this is live.
Yep, yeah, it's live. It's out there now.
so at the
So
end of the
everyone
year,
knows
getting
this,
Bud's
this Bub
pocket.
brought this, to the meeting.
I'm not gonna lie.
And
When the idea
we
was
got it kind of excited. We're like, man, this is pretty awesome. But
when the idea was first brought up to me, you can ask my fiance, you can ask my best friends. Like they saw me sitting down, like, will this work? Will this work? This is what I want to do. I made phone calls to people who I knew what they were talking about when it came to these things, and I even spent Labor Day weekend. I remember going out to a race on a Sunday out at Lake Ozark just to see how a certain chassis performed in a different setting, to see what maybe I thought. And I actually, I'm not going to say the chassis once again, but I changed my mind from one chassis to another at that race because of that. I'm putting a lot of thought into this. And what I'm hoping is that sprint car drivers, if you're listening, or if you listen to it later on, you hear this and you're like, guess what? I'm racing Farmington. I want that car. I'm also going to change. Right, we're going to talk about changing. We haven't said it yet, but changing how the points work. I want to do away with the 50, 48, 46, and spread it out a little more.
2 points difference.
Yeah,
what he's talking about for those that don't know the points, because if you haven't raced, it's 2 points between each position.
Yep.
So you can have a terrible night, and you finish third next week, and it didn't fix much of your terrible night. It's,
Right.
You're the other guy. You know what I mean? So
Big question then. What about passing points?
Haven't made a decision on that yet.
Okay. Because
Like,
I know
now,
Farmington,
this is all-
I travel all over the country,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that is one of the last tracks in the country that doesn't do
That
passing
runs an
points.
open wheel class and doesn't do pass.
Yes.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, hey, as someone, I know I've worked at a lot of tracks, but I also have traveled all over the place. And it's all the same. Passing points is a big deal. We have not discussed that yet. That's not something I want to make on my own. I want to discuss that with our leadership team here. But, it's something to consider. It's definitely something that I've thought about, but I'm not going to make that decision for the group. We're going to make that as a team once. And like I said, we've only had really the opportunity to sit down and talk about a couple things one time,
Yeah.
so
I just knew that was going to be on everybody's.
well, just know,
Oh, yeah.
just know if you're listening, that's like, we're going to discuss it, but that doesn't mean
that,
that's
like
that's,
a lot of other things, are gonna. I think we can't probably emphasize this next statement I'll make enough. When you come running up to Bub or Dustin or me, telling us all the plans you think we should have, that you might as well run out in a windstorm and take a whiz and hope none gets on you. There's no way that any of us can take that seriously at a dead run or on a comment today. Like, you're not going to make one comment on a podcast and change the entire outcome of points, the entire outcome of what classes we're running. These are serious conversations, people. Like, and I say this to these guys, Bub's done a lot of track work before, so he's probably saw a lot of that. But as a promoter in the past, you get mad at me, but there's just no way. I can't remember what you said to me. I have no idea who said it. Don't do that to these guys. Like, we're going to set up an email, I think, and we'll have a place you can leave a message. You want something thought out and, some things like that thrown at it, like, passing point stuff. Well, obviously, that's a big ticket item. We'll talk about that. But, approach that in a way like a professional approaches something. Your boss will fire you if you come up yelling at him.
you guys need
don't do that to us, and we'll actually take it. I mean, some of the things we talked about today, I've heard 100 times it needed. I'm taking it seriously. They're taking it seriously.
You need a comment box.
I'm
Yeah.
open to
At the-
suggestions. Yeah.
There needs to be a comment box with some things, but like right at the pit gate, where you can put comments on what you think should go in there. But I live across the street, so I'd probably drive over there every day and put wieners or something like that, drop them in there. But
So, I'd like to address a comment if that's okay.
Yep.
Dan Francis commented, "Any traveling series you plan on bringing in?" I'm just going to say yes. I can't say who or what because nothing's set.
Yep.
But we even
sat
made
at the table last night.
made
and
phone
called
calls.
3, maybe 2 of them. A couple of them we weren't sitting at the table yet. But
Yeah.
I talked to 3 people yesterday, and 2 people the week before, and I'm like, hey, this isn't final yet, so why don't you call me after? I don't know. At the time, we were waiting on some processing, and I said like the 15th is a number, but there's still people to talk to. And I've gave all that information to these guys. So Bob will be doing most of that. So,
I actually
passed
had
on
a-
a bunch of phone numbers to him last night.
Yep.
I had a promoter of another track reach out to me today to see, they're like, hey, I'm going to try to work with Daryl this year on some sprint car shows and late model shows. And I said, well, let's just wait. We got announcement coming tonight. So I'll give you guys that number.
That'd be great.
That guy. And,
Like, we want to work with people that want to
yeah,
work with us.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's something him and I talked about is, I feel like all of our tracks need to work together, and it makes everything better for everybody.
Can I say something about that? A little bit personal
Yeah.
for me. Don't think I didn't try to work with tracks. And I'm not throwing any I won't throw anybody under the bus. I'd love to one day down the road maybe do that, but I'll hold it to myself right now. But
When you quit, we'll
I
have
have
that
been on
show.
the phone with, and I'm not talking about any specific here, or I'm talking about several specific tracks. It wasn't from lack of trying working with tracks. So I personally, I'm going to take myself, since I'm not the promoter anymore, or the sole owner anymore. I'm in the middle of a conversation about getting a schedule together with other tracks in the past, and they just stopped talking to me and threw their schedule out. Like, did you use all the information we talked about against me? It's not because I've sat here, and I don't want to make this, it's not personal, but I hate the fake ass shit in the racing industry. And I'm sorry, I'm doing a fucking rant like this guy. I love it. Don't come up to anybody at Farmington and blame us for not doing something like that when there's a whole bunch of cocksuckers out there that do not treat me well and have done everything against what I've tried to do.
Yeah, I
Okay?
love it.
That's my rant. I'll stop because I'm gonna get out of hand. But this has always been the dream around here. I've talked to several other promoters at Farmington, and some of them were not easy to deal with, and I understand that, and I'm not taking up for anybody in particular. But it isn't always your hometown track that's the problem.
Right.
And I'm not saying that about any other squabbles that anybody has. I'm just saying, I know personally now that some of this stuff that I always dreamed to happen in, probably somebody tried to make happen, and the other people on the other end wouldn't work with it. So I'm glad as hell people are saying, hey, let's work together. I'm glad that we have communication with other people. Maybe they just didn't like me, but they weren't very easy to deal with in some instances. So I'm excited about maybe if you don't like me, or I won't be dealing with that part, but if you don't like you, call the other one or leave a message, hey, if you want to deal with a specific person, leave that on the message. Hey, please have Dustin call me. Please have Bub call me. That's great, but let's get some of those deals actually done.
And I will say that last year there was a situation.
Talking to the mic, if you will.
He's got me over there. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Here we are.
You're good.
So there was a situation last year where they had Daryl had a show scheduled, and another track decided they was going to run over top of it.
Yep.
And I told him then, I said, what's the number? What is it that we got to raise? What is it that you need to get that show back down here to outshine the other show? And being the kind of guy he is, he said, I would love to, and that would be great, but I'm making an enemy out of another track.
What do we
and
do
I'm
to
not
the
gonna
racing?
Step on those, huh?
What do we do to the racing industry?
Yeah,
This
I'm-
is my statement to anybody out there listening that doesn't understand the big picture. And I understand we all invest money in this, and we've got to do what we've got to do to maybe sometimes cutthroat in business. I own a few. You have to do what you have to do. But if you tell everybody how great you are for the racing industry, or you want people to believe that, and then whenever all the doors are closed and you're on the phone with another promoter and you just are thinking about figuring out how to put him out of business or scheduling over the top of shit that fans can enjoy, you don't give a shit about the racing industry. You give a shit about you.
Yep.
And all of you out there know who you are. That's ridiculous to do that. And you can't, and don't not even talk to someone about it.
Yeah, and I just wanted everybody to know that it wasn't for lack of trying, and there was opportunities there, but he's not that type of guy, never has been that type of guy. He would rather save the racing industry than...
He said to me, do you want to double it, the payout, since somebody's scheduled on the top of you? And I said, no, because then you create an enemy.
And again, so
Sutton broke it again.
all right, let's I think we should be good again, guys. Let us know in the comments there. Yeah, Sutton gets the blame for it.
Yeah, I know. He broke it.
Yeah.
Are we back?
We'll find out
Sing
shortly.
the song again. Guess who's back? Back.
I think we got off, and I'm
think we're
sorry, man. I'm
Yeah,
so
we're good.
freaking passionate about this stuff. I think I'm a little crazy like you.
Yeah, I like
you
it.
guys are in the cage.
Yeah, he put me in here because he knew we could get in a nasty fight match. I think it was great. But back to your points thing, man. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hijack.
Oh yeah, well, so we got this. We got the sprint cars.
Yep.
5,000 for the
Yeah, 5,000
or a
a
chassis.
chassis.
So
That's
let's
the
have a
top
choice.
5.
yeah, that's
Yes.
a top
Remember,
five
remember
deal.
back to that. The top
So
5.
let's get to the A mods.
AMOD. So I have the sprint cars dialed down. That's what we're gonna do. The A mods, not so much. The B mod, the other classes, not so much. But we're leaning towards the champion getting for the A mods getting a Willys Carb Super Bowl, which is how much are those about?
I believe current price is around $3,300.
So I mean that's a good.
There's probably some options there, so don't
Yeah.
quote me on that. That's really nice. I mean, pretty much anybody who's raced A-Mod knows those kind of carbs, whether you have an opinion about the different brands out there. I mean, a Super Bowl style carb is the holy grail of
Right.
what people want to build up to when you start racing A-Mods.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or they could take a cash option of $2,500.
Okay.
And then B mods, we're going to do another Willys Carb, but it's not going to, you can't run a Super Bowl in a B mod. So we're going to do another Willys Carb, but it's going to be a 2-barrel. And then you have the option of $1,000. I might have that number off. I didn't bring my notes with me, but I wrote it down. And of course I wrote it down last night. So obviously I don't remember it. The rest of the stuff I've had wrote down for a while. So I remember it all.
We talked about like that carb's around $1,200 for the
Yeah.
Willys carb we talked about.
So
Sorry to chime in. I'm the
no,
parts
you're good.
guy.
Yeah, hey,
so-
you talked with me last night
Yeah.
about it.
So all these ideas Bub had wrote on paper and he showed us, and we just kind of talked about, we were talking about a Willys carb for each class, and I'm like, hey man, if you're gonna do it up, do a Super Bowl for the A mods, and he's like, great. So, that's why. And I told them after we had the meeting, I love this. We're bouncing ideas off each other and everybody's ideas. But go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
And then the street stock or the factory stocks. Sorry, the factory stocks. We talked about doing about an $800 shock package because the shocks are not cheap. So doing an $800 shock package deal for the factory stocks.
So factory stocks, that is going to be, because we talk about this every time. So you got Kevin Mosier, Casey Nations, stuff like that. That is
Those
a
are super street.
super street. And then factory stock is like what your dad always built, Chris
Yeah.
Boyd Sr.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's reeled in and
Pure street type.
we talked about this, and this class, whatever street anything or factory stock or hobby stock, all of those classes that we blanket statement street stock or whatever, there's so many opinions. There's so many people with different cars. And I told these guys how I handled last year, and we talked about it and came to a, I don't know what you call that, just, kind of an agreement. I said, we looked at what cars we're racing in each class. And I told everybody at the beginning of the year, hey, you guys have said you want this one, you want this one. Here's both. Take points away for a year, see how it goes. Here's both. Build the cars. And then I had guys say, well, we want to race every week. Well, race up. Or if you're in a super street, I think that there's classes around that you could race those on the nights we're off. I said, I haven't restricted you to where you can't race. And I said, so build cars, show up here. I mean, I know there's 3 or 4 super streets out there that didn't make it to the track out of the garage that used to race there. And I did exactly what they asked me to do, open the rules back up the way it was so they were legal. And we didn't get any cars. I mean, the factory stock guys raced up. And I also made it, before everybody goes off on that, I made it very plain to anyone who was listening. If factory stocks are racing up, I'm not counting that as an actual built car for the Super Street class. So build Super Street cars. They didn't. People didn't come out. And I gave these guys this information. We had about a 3-car Super Street average. Now our car counts look better because all those cars that were racing up, but 2 or 3 cars showed up. Guys, listen, the payout alone is double. I mean, I counted the people that came through with those, and it's double. We figured it up last night. It's double what you brought in the gate. Like, the track never could afford that. Now, even though it can now, why in the world would anybody want to watch 3 cars race on a regular? You know what I mean? We don't want to see that. Nobody wants to see that. So the decision was, I mean, these guys were like, yeah, if we're picking one of those, we're picking the one that actually has cars.
Right.
So
Numbers
that's
don't
where that
lie.
decision comes from. Yeah, numbers don't lie.
Numbers don't lie. It was in.
Yeah, my boy races the factory stocks, and if his class would have been the lesser of the two classes, you're running every other weekend. Because trust me, there's weekends where I'd like to go camping. I like to go do something else. So the every other weekend would have worked out well for me. But the factory stocks, we're pulling more cars. Yeah. And so I hope that anybody that's out there that's got the factory stocks gets them out there, man. We need to build that class because 10's a good number. It beats 3, but it doesn't compare to the modifieds that are running 20 cars a weekend.
Right.
You know?
Well, and with the really nice points fund, and we haven't, so everybody knows we haven't sit down with payout numbers for regular weekly shows because I'm sure that'll get asked, and we haven't sit down with specific rules. I'm assuming we're not reinventing the wheel on the first year. There'll probably be a couple tweaks. We talked about one last night that the jury's still out on. We'll see. We haven't talked about that. We will after the podcast, maybe. But
And
anyway,
then we'll leak it out later.
Yeah, breaking news tomorrow night.
how much do you want to pay to
Hey,
know?
we need to screenshot this. Tim Nash.
I know.
He's
saw
running
that.
for the mod championship in 26.
I was
so
getting ready to bring that up.
you better screenshot that because if he don't run for the championship,
Now-
you can be like, come on, man.
Listen,
So you tell me I should have recorded the conversations a few years ago about micros and you not showing up?
Time out. Let's talk about this. Now, Bub can get me on this one.
Yeah.
So Daryl says, hey, we're going to run micros. And I said, hey, no matter what, I'll bring my car. I don't care if it's $100 to win. And then we see the schedule, and it's on SIR's 12,000 to win hustle night. And then the next one was on like the Sprague 13, but he didn't know the dates.
That's my fault. I should have made a couple phone calls and incorporated some other help into the schedule then. But man, by the time you look at
Oh, yeah.
Outlaws
And you don't
and
even
High
know that.
Limit and Power Eye and IRA and all these sprint classes, and you're working on this 410 stuff and trying to get your Queens roll in a place where there's not 100 different big races, and
Right.
then you move on to A mods, and you got this mod show and that mod show, and I try to pick a mod show name that nobody else had, and all that, but I got the micros, and I'm exhausted. By the way, people don't care if they name their races the same as yours. I was trying so hard not to be the same mod name, and now it's all over the place. I don't know. I don't understand.
Well, I'll guarantee if we go through a date for a micro show, I can pull you. Man, I don't want to throw a number out there because then I'm gonna be like Tim Nash's
Somebody
2026
record this.
Your phone's
championship.
ready.
I guarantee there'll be a bunch as long as we could have a certain deal. And if you could get to work with the small track south of Farmington, you could have really big micro shows.
I like
But-
where you're going with this conversation.
Yeah, I know.
It would be cool.
It would be a
be
cool
cool.
deal. But
And
I
like
mean,
we said-
and also, but here's your deal. And I mean, I'm not going to, because everybody knows I like micros. Micros ain't going to bring anybody to your stands.
Yeah.
You're going to bring a shit ton of people in the pits
Right.
because they all bring, a lot of the people are younger, so they have to bring a handful more people than a regular A mod or B mod. I mean, I say that families bring all kinds of people, but 9 times out of 10, those micro guys have to bring an adult and obviously more people. But
And that makes great sense. A couple of
Yeah.
promoters that I talked to said, hey, my back gate does it for me. And I'm like, man, I wish. Because Farmington's back gate doesn't pay for the payout. Like everything that goes in the pits goes to the driver.
see, and I see like these smaller tracks in like Southern Illinois as a they get a decent over there for the micro stuff, but yeah, the back gate's sickening.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you see it down here, small track down here. I mean,
And
there ain't a ton of people there, but
I've had some of those same people tell me, hey, we wish we could get your grandstand. So, I mean, I guess it's a bit of a trade-off, but we do have some pretty expensive payout racing. Even though, I mean, there's never enough. Everything's expensive. Race cars
Oh,
are
yeah.
expensive. It's never enough. You have to win the lottery to have enough for that all the time. But people, it's one or the other usually. So that's something that might be, once you try it out a couple times, it
it's
might be
a-
something that fixes something.
it's a lot, man. When you go looking at all that stuff, I've had pipe dreams of, having my own place or something. And if you just look at certain things, it looks like a lot. I mean, it's got to be a lot to really crunch numbers and figure out a lot of that stuff. But
I think I've drove these guys a little bit nuts, and they're nice to me, so they don't really tell me, and they probably should. But I constantly go through this stuff, and they're like, Jesus, we know already, But
Yeah.
that's wild.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go back over. We'll see. All right, let us know if we're live again, guys.
Oh, we're moving.
We're moving.
Around, so
So anyway, I've told them all of this stuff because I want them to. I want to just like. What should you do?
Everybody's cussing something still every time.
I want to just be able to download my experiences to these
Yeah,
guys.
oh
so
yeah,
then they
man.
know, like, I don't, and then I wouldn't have to do that. But I feel like you don't know it. You'll never understand unless somebody's way over dramatic about it.
Yeah.
And then you'll be in the middle of it and you'll be like, oh shit, now I know what he was talking about, And that's part of the why I do that.
Sutton,
But
if it helps, Raylan's over here blaming it on her dad.
Yeah.
I see that.
It's too late. I already said something broke it the
Yeah.
first time, so everybody
Yeah.
believes
There
it.
you go. Yeah.
when you say a lot, that's why I said that. When you say a lot, you really need to find another word because it's more than that. You know what I mean? And that's why this stuff happens. Now there's 3 or 4 people. There's things to divide up. So maybe it's a little bit less of a lot. You know what I mean?
Well, now you have a team instead of
Right.
an individual. It's good, but that McRib is back 6'7".
I'd like to
Gosh.
also reiterate a couple things that we just talked about. We are willing to work with other tracks. So
Yeah, absolutely.
if they want to put on a show with us, let's do it.
Yep.
Let's talk about it. And then another thing I'd like to talk about. I like the energy I'm seeing in the comments. Some of these, I bring up the championship ideas. Some of these drivers are saying, well, I'd like, you got Tim Nash, and I just saw a comment from Shane Blair.
Yep, so
we might
Shane-
have ourselves a good old fashioned A-Mod championship like we used to when I was younger.
We talked about this earlier. I said, man, with that kind of thing, people are
Will
itching
come
to
back,
come, I think.
and that's what we want. Like we want them to, we want them to have the same passion we have to come back and want to race for something. To show and to put on a show for the fans. And another thing I want to talk about is we have to remember this is an entertainment industry. Racing is entertainment. And so I want the fans to be involved in this too. I want people to want to come on a Saturday and say, oh, we got to keep track of who's getting where so that we know what's going to happen. What's going to happen? Let's a race.
In the day, we'd do it just a little bit, like when we would be off, because we were so pumped up about our home local track. And it seems like,
We're froze again, guys. Hang on.
Sutton.
All right, yeah. Sorry,
My dad.
sorry, guys. We've never had this trouble before, but it giving us fits tonight. So hopefully it's back live. All right, it says we're good now. So go ahead and go on.
Man, I think
Anyway,
we
what I
overloaded
was-
this with awesomeness.
I know what I was talking about was it's awesome to go traveling around, but like back in the day when we do it, we just do it a handful of times because we were so pumped up about going to our local track because it was fun. It was more, but social media kills all that too. I blame a lot of that because everybody can bitch and complain. We'd bitch and complain on the way home. And you'd be like, that track, it
But that was
sucked.
5
and
o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
because there was beer drinking.
Yeah,
a
that's
lot
different.
Back then.
half the time we didn't know the track was that bad because we didn't know what was going on. But
I think we're spinning again.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, we froze again?
Your whole family's attacking you now.
I know they're all moving
Moving around and stuff.
yeah, I'm still good.
Yeah. Mine's froze up, but look, according to the comments, everybody's good.
Sprint cars suck. Who's that guy?
Did you see some Billy
Get outta
Smith
here.
guy say he might need to come out of retirement?
I saw that.
Did you see who he's? No, read it again.
Well, I did see that.
Oh,
He said Bub's dad needs to come out of
Yeah,
retirement.
I got
I
something
think
for
a
you.
good old fashioned. Maybe we get Matt Eaton in there, and we get
Oh my God.
Wouldn't
we
that
get
be?
Billy the Kid and
so
Matt Eaton
I-
and
yeah.
Brent and
Billy's-
Chris.
yeah.
Let's make some stuff.
Billy's
happen.
broke down, and he can't do hardly anything, and he's got to concentrate on Zane's stuff. Matt, I don't know if he can afford the helmet bill or the steering wheel bill because
Stop! I'm cock blocking because you own
No,
the car. And he's got
no.
the
Yeah,
trailer
yeah.
on the
Hey,
van.
listen,
got
I
big
know a
things
car he
coming.
can get in. All right.
So I
good.
actually had a guy message me last year. I want to say it was Matt Denoyer. I could be wrong. And he's like, man, let's have a throwback night. Bring Matt Eaton, Billy Smith, all these guys back in a race car. And I'm like,
do you think you would get a word in?
but,
We're
well,
still frozen, guys.
yeah,
This one's working.
Oh yeah, I mean everybody's saying they're good on mine.
yeah, I don't know. I refreshed
Crystal
mine
said
and it's
still
working.
not working for me.
Refresh it.
Mine's good.
That's what I had to do.
Oh, mine's
know.
not working either.
Let us know, guys, if it's
Okay,
working.
time out. Is it working? Let's get a message on there.
Tim Nash says he's coming here to stand in for you, son.
Still good.
All right.
Flying
Flying Divine.
Divine says we're good.
All right.
Just refresh the stuff because you guys just missed all. I was giving away money, and you guys all missed it.
Yeah. So,
I mean, that'd be cool, but well, Tim's got to wait. We got 1 year anniversary
yeah.
show coming up.
Coming
you know,
up. Yeah.
That's become the norm now.
yeah, it's the normal now. But back in the day, we're like, oh, there's a holiday.
Right.
Right.
Let's race all 3 days.
Right.
You know, or something
Yeah.
like that. So I don't know. I think it'd be cool if we had a good area around here where you could race everything, and you know, your track was your home place to keep on trucking.
Right.
Yeah, and I just feel the energy from this podcast. Even everybody's excited.
Josh Reed said.
Yep. Now Josh
he
Reed's
thought
running.
he was not going to run for a points, and he told me that in person. That was a lot, but for that points, he might run for a points.
See, that was
that's
what I was looking
exciting,
for.
man.
You know,
Like, all
get
the
these
guys
good
are
drivers
talking
in
about
to want to come race
Right.
Yeah.
on a week. You know, when we race weekly and all, and put on a show for the fans. And
Yeah, it's good. I mean, that was what we used to do. Heck, I come home from work on Friday at like 5 and had to hurry up and get my car ready to get to Doe Run in time. and it was awful. But then I was like, oh man, thank God. You know, because you work the week for the weekend, man.
Yeah.
You work to do all this. Man, Tim missed it. That sucks. I said anyone with a number 7 car, I'm giving $100 to,
but you only have
Time's
like
up.
10 seconds. Yeah, time's
but he
expired.
missed it. Uh-oh, we can't hear nothing
Man,
now.
what is going on?
Yeah. I don't know. Can anybody else?
For me, but there's enough people saying it, so I don't know.
Yeah, our phones are freezing in here.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, Coulter McBride. He said he's in for the
See,
points.
And I really,
So-
I hope what I want to do here is going to be something that more than just what the people who are commenting want to do. Like
Right.
they want to be a part of something like this. That's the plan. I want.
Yeah.
I want the excitement to fill the facility. I just want everybody to have the same set of chills that I have on my arms right now. So that's what I'm looking for.
We're all good. We keep on trucking.
Apparently they can hear it. They just can't see. It's just cutting. The video's cutting in and out.
I feel like
that's
I'm having a
okay.
receiver talk. I can hear. I can't hear. I can see. I can't see. Damn it.
Yeah, sorry guys, we're having a little bit of technical difficulties here,
So,
but we'll make the best of it.
What else you
so.
got, Bob? Anything super more important before if we don't we kind of cut out some more times?
Well, I'd like to say, you know, we're not done. We still have a lot of planning to take care of and a lot of stuff to take care of. I mean, if it's possible to come back at some point and go over everything again, it'd be nice. We wanted to get it out there.
I
mean,
think-
the deal was done just a couple
days ago.
2 days ago. We met yesterday and we were like, let's get ready for Wednesday on the podcast. Like it was just such the finalizing of everything was so quick. You know, we have a lot more things actually that we still need to line out.
Speaking of that, Scotty Jarrett, is he going to be the flag man, or you got a new flag man?
We don't know, we haven't even got that far.
Oh
Yep.
my gosh, the people just need to know this.
Yeah, I know.
The day before I was coming here, a couple hours early, I messaged. We do a group chat thing, a group me app for the racetrack for each. In the past, we have each category. You know, concessions on track. You know and I sent out, hey, you know, just so you know, all this is happening, and you know, message me if you want to be, you know, on the list to be, you know, considered for a position continuing. So all of those things just happened today. So telling you who's staffed anywhere, I haven't even got a response from all the people, or even there's still some on my phone I haven't wrote in the book yet. That's how new this. I mean, we've been talking for a long time to get a plan, but you don't talk to, you know, traveling sanction promoters until the papers are signed, and you don't tell anybody I'm absolutely doing this, or in 2 days we haven't had a chance to proofread over the rules and decide on anything. And you can't do all of that fast, right? But we want everybody to know that, you know, all good intentions here from all of us. And
So we have Cody Bell wants a quick recap. So let's for those who may not have tuned in at the beginning, we got some changes coming for the 2026 season at Farmington Empire Speedway, and
We got Daryl. I mean, I say stepping back, he'll still be involved.
Yep.
They pretty much. Here's what I'm going to say: they're pretty much putting a team together here,
Yep.
and you know, Dustin is going to be more financially involved than what Daryl was solely by himself, but Daryl's still going to be helping Dustin. They got competition director Chris Boyd Jr. and this is going to be like a team effort. It ain't going to be all on Daryl's shoulders. So it should relieve stress off everybody. Same classes will be running, except for now you're going to call them Pure Street. No.
Factory
stocks.
Yeah.
It'll be factory stocks.
Factory
instead of the
stocks will be
super
your
streets,
fourth
yeah.
class besides
Yep.
obvious A mod, B mod, 410 sprints. So that will be your classes. If you didn't hear the points fund for the end of the year, sprint cars, $5,000 to win,
Or a sprint
Or
car chassis.
a sprint car chassis, and then the money goes down after that to the top 5.
Yep.
And then A mods, you'll get a Willys Carburetor Super Bowl,
Super Bowl for the A mods.
like a $3,000 type.
Mm-hmm.
Or
$2,500.
Or $2,500. B mods, same deal. You can't run that carburetor unless you figure out a way to cheat it. But or $1,500 or $1,000.
1,000.
A
Yeah.
thousand.
So it'll be a 2-barrel Willys carb
Yep.
or $1,000.
And the factory stock, a McRib.
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
Factory stock is $800 shock
My dad
package.
says, "Damn it, he's not junior, he's bub."
Ain't happening, buddy.
And also, we have some upgrades going on at the track. Going to be some reconfiguration of turn 2. Some lighting upgrades, possibly some speaker upgrades, things like that. So, things.
We're doing sound systems. We're getting the sound system lined out, getting the walls lined out, getting the safety stuff done.
Yep.
Lighting, I would like to try to get into, but we're already into almost December.
Yep.
So it's going to be a tough push for lights this year, but if we can make it happen,
Yep.
hey, if we can come up with a plan, let's do it.
Yeah, 10 inches of new dirt. That's for this year.
They start that on Monday.
Okay.
So
Yeah, that's
So
huge.
that's the recap real fast for you of kind of what we
have
talked about.
basically, to sum everything else up, we have a board, kind of, for easy explanation.
Yep.
There's a group. So you're not going to be able to get a result without it being taken back. So, like, all the other things that you're going to want to know, you're not going to get a straight answer. And I don't want everybody to think they're going to, because I can't promise you something. He can't promise you something until we take it back and talk. So please be patient with that. We joked earlier about a comment box. There'll be something like that. Email, comment box.
You ain't got to
place
worry
leave a
about that. There's a thing called Facebook. that Everybody's going to tell you how to run it.
So that's another. I mean, it's a big highlight. And the last thing, Cody, that I can remember here to sum it up before, or my 2 years, those accounts will get closed.
Shut off.
All right.
An hour and
Hour and a half.
hour and a half.
All right, back to that. If anything
Yeah.
you have outstanding checks or anything like that you need from 2024 or 2025, we need to handle that at the end before December 31st.
Yep,
Think it
we're good.
going Again.
No, we're good.
Still going?
This is a delayed.
I got you.
Yep. so cash your checks.
December 31st will be the last day that those accounts are open and available. So, and I only say that because some people have had some checks and things that have told me they haven't put them in yet. That needs to be all done if you
Yep.
have any out there. So,
These comments are awesome.
Fantastic to read while this is
Billy
going on.
says, "Bub, maybe I
it's
should come
hard.
out of retirement." JK, maybe. Hey, I know where you can get a car. Just saying.
No.
But to answer your guys' questions, on you guys wanting to come back on later on, we can talk to the right people and probably
Right.
make that happen. So
Oh, we'll
just
do this.
consider it
We just
done.
wanted to get this announcement done. I think we're gonna have a crazy week. We got a lot of cool stuff happening. So I mean,
Yeah, I guess Sunday will be a big day for us too. Another
We
podcast.
may-
Even though
may-
there's no racing going on the tracks, it's a great time to be
Oh, man,
a race
yeah.
fan in St. Francis County.
we
That-
sat out for a
that
couple
is-
weeks because we knew there was a lot of information going on, and we just kind of posted a bunch of stuff. But I think we're gonna have we'll probably do another one Sunday.
Yep.
Probably try to do some
There's
video.
going to be a stripper pole right here on Sunday.
Hey.
and there's gonna be
Since you
dancing in
guys
here.
having more of the, all the tracks I go to are like 80% kids. Since you guys are 80% adults, I don't know why we don't have bikinis and all kinds of cool shit. Now, if everybody says, "Oh, my kids are in the stands," your kids are looking up way worse stuff on YouTube than what they're going to see at the racetrack, bud.
So we had a question from Josh Reed. Opening day sometime in April.
The schedule, like we really don't have a whole lot done yet, and of course, I don't want to release anything without a finalized schedule, but probably around sometime in, I'd say April. Yeah. I'm just going to be, it's not going to be March 28th. I can tell you that much because my fiance would kill me because I would,
I think you
supposed to
need
be my wedding day. So
you need back that day or bring that day forward. You guys need to get married like March 1st or something.
I don't do odd numbers.
That was
sorry.
that was terrible.
yeah. Well,
Oh man.
I will say on opening day, we don't know for sure yet, but there will be probably 4 or 5 play days, practice days, because we need to get cars on that new dirt.
Yep.
I mean, we're going to roll it, pack it, do everything we can throughout the winter, but we're going to need a couple nights on that dirt before it really tells us what it's going to do. So we'll try to get sometime in March, if the weather cooperates, start running some weekends.
A question I have, and I'm going to say you probably don't know the answer yet, but I'll ask anyway. Have you narrowed down track prep guy for 2026 yet, or is that still in the works?
That's all still up in the air. I mean, I know I was ecstatic with Jeff, but
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have any problem in the world with Jeff. I thought he did a fantastic job.
And I really haven't talked to Jeff. We've both talked to Jeff like a little bit, but I'm not even sure. I mean, I hate to even mention anybody unless we know for sure they want
Right.
to do it or they want to be considered for it. But like I said, we didn't want to call and be like, hey, you want to do dirt work? Whether Jeff says no and we have to find somebody or whatever the deal is or whatever we decided to do. I didn't want to do that, and I don't think he wanted to do that. Nobody wants to do that when you're like, deals can fall apart at the last second. We don't know. I mean, I could get hit by a truck and not be there to sign papers on that, you know? So we didn't reach out. Like, literally 2 days ago, this was final enough to say it out loud.
Yeah. And I figured that's just a question I had. And then, so.
It's craziness with the Peevely sells last year, and then Farmington actually goes through, and heck, Daryl just bought it a couple years ago, so every year something gets sold.
We're in it for the long haul, so we've got a plan built out for what we want to do, and I mean, this is just the beginning of it, and I hope we can build on the team that we've got, and people see that we're actually serious, and this is what we're going to do, and whether you're on board or not, it's happening. So it's going to be fun. I mean, this year is going to be a little bit, we're putting in new dirt, new walls, new this, new that. Next year's going to be a good time.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say the excitement level in dirt track racing in St. Francis County is going to be over the top this
I think
next
so.
year.
I think so. Get a lot of people on board, and with Bub's plan, when he brought that out the other night, I was like, that's awesome.
Hey, everybody, Bub's the competition director. Now, I'm saying this serious, and so listen to every bit of this. Bub's the competition director. And whenever Katie and I took over and, renamed to Farmington Empire Speedway, there was a lot of things because of the history and not because of us. I'm not saying that, but we had 75 people, 75 cars at the first play day. Make him deal with that kind of crazy. Bring 100 for play day, and let's give him a real hard test this first day.
bring it on. Let's go.
So here's right here, if you guys can see me, right here is Bub's phone number. We're going to put it on the screen. It's right here.
And Bub is more experienced by a long shot than I was or still am. I think for those of you that haven't seen him in action or haven't talked to him about it, I mean, I think that you'll be really, really happy with his ability to take it to a place. Like I said, seriously, show him your support. Come that first day and be like, hey, man, 100 of us are here with our cars because we think you're awesome, because he is.
Right.
So let's do that, man. I think that, and I really do want to see somebody else struggle with 4 wide lines in staging. That was nuts.
We'll figure it out. Yeah. I appreciate the kind words, but like I said, I cannot be more excited.
Yeah, no, it sounds awesome.
I'm happy to come home. I'm happy to be in the same facility on a Saturday night with the rest of my family, and I'm happy to be a part of the track I was raised at.
It sounds like, reading the comments, your family's going to be heavily involved. I see your dad says he's going to bring 2 cars to play day.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Well, I don't know.
Just got to get him to come home
Is it
from
going
work.
to be good or bad that his whole family's going to be there?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll find out.
You got to get him to come home. Now,
See, your sister and your fiance, well, I don't know if your fiance knows, but she was volunteered to do Junior Fan Club.
yeah.
So,
See that was
that's been
brought up a couple times.
So I'm a big fan of junior fan clubs. I love the idea. And like I said, I want to do. We're going to have the fans involved, and I want it to be a good racetrack where parents can bring their kids to watch some good racing. And because you got to think, the kids are our future in this sport. You don't have a racetrack 20 years from now if parents are not bringing their kids to watch racing. You don't have future racers in St. Francis County if parents do not bring their kids to watch racing. You know, that's where it all starts. That's where it started for me. Like I said, 2 weeks old. 2 weeks old, I was at a racetrack, and I've been at a racetrack almost every weekend since. And I wouldn't change it for the world. So, I mean, that's how it's got to, you know, that's what we got to try to get back to bring back the sport to St. Francis County.
I agree.
We saw it so much with the blast from the past night because we had vintage and the older group and then the kids. We synced it with a junior fan club thing. And to see those older people that have raced and they remember being that little kid looking up to those guys that they told me stories about. And you see that like the junior fan club all the way to the vintage class, and you see racing unfold there. And man, if that doesn't bring a little tear to your eye just with joy, really, of the history and the joy, I love it. And we wanted to be, like, we talk about, you know, the memorial races. And I really wanted to do better with all of that stuff. And I'm glad that we're on board with that kind of thing because we need to do it up better for the kids. We need to do it up better to remember past racers and racers that are no longer with us. And by the way, all of you probably have known already, but Brad Buki passed away recently. Guys like Brad put in so much, just like we have, of passion, and he's gonna be real missed. And
Brad's going to be missed a lot. I'm glad the last night out, it was the modified show. I got in the push truck with him and rode around all night, and we talked, and I'm glad I got that. You know, Brad's been part of my life for a long time. So
Brad's been a part of Farmington Empire Speedway for a long time. And I just want to say, for those who don't know, you know, I remember, I think, was it at the Queens when Jeff Asher went spinning into the infield and hit his, well, I just want you to know that white push buggy is going to be at the track. Because I know the guy that bought it. It was me and my dad. So it'll be there. And, you know, that part of Brad's still going to be at the track, and we're excited about that. And I know his family is too, and my family is as well.
Brad was very awesome. He would pull up to me and be like, hey, I don't know if you know this, but this is going on over there, or this is going on with that person, and you might want to do this or this. And he'd give you 2 or 3 things that he had already kind of had some ideas to, you know, you probably ought to get over there, or you need to do it. And he always cared about everybody's safety, everybody having a good time. And there wasn't a race car or a hot rod that he wasn't going to check out, man. He was a really awesome guy, so I'm going to miss him.
Well, you got anything special? Anything else we need to talk about? You got anything else kind of, I mean, I know we touched on a ton of stuff. I'm just going to, I mean, we got an hour and 40 minutes?
Yeah.
I mean, this is the longest we've done so far.
Part of me, I feel like we've covered pretty much everything.
And I'm sure we're hearing probably, well, I'd say before the season, obviously we'll all come and do this again.
Right.
Because we did it last year with all the track promoters and stuff. So we'll get a lot more information. But I guess a rundown for everybody, you know, Farmington Empire Speedway. You know, Daryl's stepping back a little bit. Dustin's taking over some of the financial stuff. They're still going to have a team with Chris Boyd Jr. running the director of operations. Just like a while ago, revamp. He's got some awesome ideas for points. There should be a lot more people want to kind of stick around and run, you know, locally. Sprint cars, 5,000 or a chassis for the points. And A-Mods, Super Bowl, Willie's Super Bowl carb. And or $3,000, 3,500.
2,500.
Man, I keep upping it.
Yeah, I know you're trying here. Come on,
pushing that big. And B Mods is
That's a podcast right here with all the proof.
B Mods $1,000.
Yes, see, you got it right that time.
Or a carburetor without the bowl on it, whatever that is. You can't have that unless you can figure it out. And then factory stocks.
Factory
there
stocks.
We are. We're hitting
$800
it.
shock
Factory
package.
stocks, $800 shock package type deal. So that should give some people something to run for. And I mean, spread the word on that. Turn 2, closing it off, opening it up a little bit. So I bet you there'll be a lot more speed carrying there. Turn 3, maybe shortening that up.
Shortening the exit in turn
Shortening
3.
the exit in turn 3. 10 inches of dirt.
All the way around.
All the way around. Speaker system. That's this year. Lighting's going to come, but obviously that's already a lot of stuff. So some of this, some of the stuff ain't going to be instantly, so don't carry it. Tim Nash and Josh Reed are running every week at Farmington.
And Shane Blair too.
And Shane Blair.
Yep.
Um,
Billy Smith talking about coming out of
coming out of
retirement.
retirement.
Billy's
Possibly-
not coming back.
Possibly Chris Boyd Sr. too.
Chris
Yep.
Boyd Sr.
I know where Billy can get a car if he wants to come back. It's
No,
fine.
he's
Be all right.
he's busy.
No, he's not.
And then that's I covered a lot of that, didn't? Oh, cash your checks by the end of the year.
Yep.
If you got any checks, cash your checks by the end of the year, guys. So, I mean, are we gonna end this?
I think we ought
So-
to get ready to wrap it up here. We've been
Yeah.
going darn near 2 hours. I know we've had a little bit of technical problems, but thanks guys for sticking
Yeah,
in.
we
We've
wanna-
still got almost 80
I got
people
one more
watching right
thing.
now.
Oh, we got one more thing.
Let's go racing at
Yeah.
Farmington Empire Speedway.
Let's
We're
guys.
going,
Let's
we're
go.
going.
And thank
Let's
the
go.
Dirty Right Rear guys all the time, man. You guys, it's much
Yeah.
appreciated what you all do for the sport.
This is fun, and look out. I mean, we took a little hiatus for a couple weeks. We just posted some videos and done some little things, but we got big things coming. We're gonna have some awesome videos coming up, and we're probably gonna do another podcast Sunday. And who knows what's gonna happen? And I don't know.
But you don't want to miss it.
Bub, what about
Bub's
Bub?
here too, Chris Boyd Jr. But yeah,
There it is.
but keep on the lookout, for the Dirty Right Here podcast this week. We're gonna have some other announcements, and next week is gonna be big. And
There's a stripper pole coming. Jeremy said.
yeah, we're gonna have
Sponsored by the Dirty Right Rear podcast.
we're gonna have bikini contests at Farmington Empire Speedway after 11. After 11.
After hours.
So that's about it, guys. So just keep posted on our podcast page and Farmington Empire Speedway. Watch what's coming there. I'm sure there'll be a lot of new pictures on what's happening and what's going on. But we appreciate everybody listening, and keep posted on everything. And we'll see you guys later.
Well, see you next time. Thank you guys for coming on, and
Yeah, thanks for having us.
we'll
We
definitely
appreciate it.
we're looking forward to this year and looking forward to being a part of the future of Empire Speedway.
Thank you for what you guys do
Oh,
for
yeah, we
local
got-
racing.
we got a
oh, wait,
toast.
wait.
We got a
I'm
toast
empty,
to
but
I am
There we go.
we're celebrating.
Transferred.
okay.
I'll have to drink water. I done drink my beer.
There we go.
Thanks for what you guys do for local racing. It's helped a lot.
Thank you guys. And we're